Hey, what's going on everybody? Marissa Romero back with another video today, and we are talking about personal branding online and how to build a really powerful personal brand here in 2019. Now, let's first talk about overall, what is a personal brand and how the heck do you build it? If you think about some of the biggest, most massive brands in the world, Nike, Michael Jordan, Apple, Tesla, all of these huge brands, you know right away that behind each one of those massive brands is an expertise and is basically a reputation that is so powerful that no one can compete with those brands in that type of niche. When we think about Michael Jordan, I mean, one of the best basketball players in the whole wide world, and why his brand is so strong, and even though he's not playing basketball anymore, it's because he was so good and such an expert at what he did, and he took so much care into the craft that he was doing that people fell in love with his why and his vision, his purpose, his values, and everything that came along with the Michael Jordan brand. So what exactly is a personal brand? It is the way essentially that people perceive you. It is your reputation. It is your body of work. It is your expertise. It is all these things and the way that it is presented online. Essentially, one of the biggest aspects of your personal brand is what you are known for. What is your expertise, that excellence where people are going to say, oh, so-and-so, whether it's a personal name or another name that you create for your personal brand, they're going to be like, wow, that girl or that guy is known for being an excellent chef. Wow, they are known for being the top fitness coach in the industry. That is essentially how powerful you want to build up your personal brand, so people can say, yeah, I know that chick, I know that guy, and he is and she is the expert at X, Y, or Z. So first, when building and crafting your personal brand, you really want to express your why. What is the why behind the company, behind the brand, behind the vision? What is it that you really want to represent to people? For example, with my brand, my why is to essentially help millions of people around the world duplicate what I do and be able to travel, live, and work on their own terms. Now, when people hear that, they're like, wow, that's kind of powerful. Like, I want to be able to do that. I understand that why. If you're a photographer, it works the same way, or a designer, or whatever it is. If you have a certain style, a certain color palette of the way you do designs, or certain clips and transitions and style of the way you do videos, it's going to be a part of your personal brand. And you want people to know it and to feel it and to understand your why as soon as they land on your personal brand. Which brings me to my first tip. Your brand really needs a home base. And what does a home base look like? It could be in the form of a blog, a website, a landing page, a social media platform. But once you think about, your name and all that great stuff, you're gonna have to identify where you want it to go. Where do you send people to understand more about your work, you, and your personal brand? One of the first things I would do if I were you when building your personal brand is buy a couple of domain names that you think will work, that you think you will use with your personal brand. Secure those domain names first, because you will be using them later in developing your websites, your funnels, your email marketing, and all that stuff. The next tip and advice, of course, is choosing a name. Now, this could be kind of complicated at first, but seriously, don't dwell on it. Your own personal name is a good start. And I honestly chose my personal name because I like my personal name. Some of the advice I have for choosing another name to identify your personal brand is if maybe your name is kind of complicated, hard to spell, hard to pronounce, it's just difficult to say. A good test of this may be, let's say you're walking down on the street and somebody asks you, oh, what's your website? Or, oh, what's your Instagram? And if you have to repeat your name slowly and people are like, say what? Like, I don't know what you just said. Maybe that's a good indicator that you should choose an alternative name for your personal brand. And some of the things to consider when thinking about an alternative name is something that's original, something that is not already used heavily in your niche. So for example, in my niche, which is the online marketing, make money online niche, I'm not gonna pick a personal brand that has the word millionaire, because there's hundreds of brands and YouTube channels and Instagram accounts that have the word millionaire. I would probably map out at 10, 15 words, match them together, see how they flow with one another, and combine a name, pick a name that is original, that is not yet used, that you can brand on each social media platform, so that all of your social medias could be consistent across the board and have the same exact name. The next tip I have with building a personal brand is that your personal brand should be an extension of who you are, of your personality. You really want to grab that and bring that to light in your personal brand. You want to portray on these different social media platforms who you are and your ideal self. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to be fake, but who is the best version of yourself? You want to make that powerful and known immediately whenever people arrive on a certain channel where your brand is held. And going back to your why and why you started this brand in the first place, that why is going to be your core center of your entire personal brand. And outside of this, like the colors, the tones, the feeling that you get when somebody sees your personal brand. Is your brand dreamy? Is it extravagant? Is it luxurious? Is it playful? Is it modern? Is it casual photography? You know, everything down to the colors of the logo, the tones of the logo. All of these components do matter highly. And one of the things I did when I was figuring out my personal brand, and this is something that you can model after as well, is take a look on Instagram and YouTube and Pinterest or whatever platform you want to start on and identify at least 10 brands that you resonate with, because this is going to help you with, you know, choosing the color palette, with choosing, you know, your mission statement, with choosing your values, your mission, and all these types of things that make up your personal brand. Identify the top brands that you like and pick things and choose things from each that you think can compose your own. And you could even choose brands that are outside of your niche. Just anything to get the creativity flowing and to craft that perfect personal brand that is going to represent you. So one of the last things that I want to talk about, which is probably the most important, is the content of your personal brand. Now, content is king and will always be king forever, in my opinion, as long as we are human beings on this planet. So in choosing what platform to build first, and that's exactly it. You should only choose one platform, stick to that platform and build your audience on that platform and become a master at it. So if that's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, pick one and go. I wanted to say that there's That's 4. I wanted to say that there's 2 types of platforms out there. Now, that one of them is where it's very content based, and the others are where it's very communication based. So an example of a communication based platform is Twitter. An example of a content based platform is Instagram and YouTube. So you want to decide what platform is going to be the strongest for you in the beginning when building your personal brand. Does that mean it's a podcast, for example? Or obviously, if you're a photographer or videographer, you will want to for sure dominate Instagram and YouTube first. Now, no matter what platform you choose first, you're going to have to lead and dominate with one thing. And I say this in almost every video I talk about, and that is leading with value. What are you going to teach? What are you going to give to your audience to make them want to come back, tune in, subscribe, follow, and to be a loyal audience and not get enough of your content because they love it so much and it is that valuable? So if you lead with education, if you lead with tutorials and how-tos, that is what is going to attract your ideal customer, your ideal client, and a loyal audience that you'll be able to build up one by one. And that is the most important thing, that you have an audience so powerful that you can monetize from by giving them value, and that you're building up this loyal following one by one, because that's exactly what Apple did. That's exactly what Michael Jordan did. They didn't all of a sudden become famous and rich and then build a personal brand. They started it from the bottom. And that is exactly what you'll be doing when building your personal brand online in 2019 and in the future. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you've been following me a while, you know that this background is new, and also I got rid of the blonde on my hair. I'm also at this moment in Medellin, Colombia. I have Mexico City coming up and also Guatemala City in the future. If you like this video and got value and want to see more types of videos like this and of my digital nomad journeys and tips, subscribe to the channel, become a part of the family if you haven't already. My name is Marissa Romero. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.